All right, let me try to stop laughing here. All right. In 3, 2. I didn't even ask the question.
Own your life.
And remember, no, own your style. Let's try that again. Okay. Cut. Did I bring a suit with me? I think I did. Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Hayashi. If you know my YouTube channel and my content, you know me for magic performance and karate. But I'm also very interested in men's fashion and suits, and having worn suits for the last 23 years, I'm very interested in various aspects of men's suits. I've done a few drawings recently, and from advice on proportion and fit to different styles of suits, I would also like to talk about the historical development of the suit. Continue. I like that. Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Hayashi. Welcome to my introduction to suits. If you know my YouTube channel or my content, you probably know me as a magician, a university lecturer at the University of Mannheim in Germany for English, a motivational speaker, and I've done television now for over 12 years. Well, it's 13 years now in 12 different countries and over 30 television shows. Starting at the age of 25, when I began working as an English teacher in Tokyo, Japan, it was required to teach in a suit, minimum shirt and tie. We were allowed to go without the jacket in the summer, but it had to be a suit pants and a shirt and tie, or you were not allowed to work. So as a suit wearer for the last, 25? I'm now 48 years old, born in 1973. As my cameraman, my son Johnny said, shh, but that's all right, let's get it out there. I'm now 48 years old as of this filming, born in 1973. This is now in the summer of 2021. So I've been wearing suits for the last 23 years, and along with the performance arts, theatrical direction, karate, and magic, because I'm passionate about suits, I would like to present a beginner's introductory guide to suits, at least what I've learned over the last couple of decades. Okay, let's start with the basics. What is a suit? As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm wearing one. I will be talking about men's suits. An interesting thing, it only took 100 years in the new colonies, what is now Canada and the United States of America, when we look at old letters written in the 1800s. It only took about 100 years, which in today's Western world terms is about 3 generations. Back then, 200 years ago, 4 generations of people, for 2 things to happen. The people in Great Britain noticed that the English speakers in the new colonies sounded different. So for us to develop North American English took about 100 years, and they also noticed that the actual cut, the design and structure of men's suits in North America after about 100 years was different. An American cut was a wider cut because our men were wider and more massively built. But that's what happens when you put people in the New World and have them have to cut down trees and fight for survival for 4 generations. The human body's an amazing thing. Right, I'm going to talk about the parts of a suit, how to take care of them, how to fold them, how to wear them, and just brush a little bit on how they do change over time. Okay, what I'm wearing is a simple, plain black suit. This is basic. I could walk into a formal situation, into a courtroom, an important meeting, any kind of interview, business meeting, and this is fairly standard, universally presentable. It's a fairly nice suit. It's made of virgin wool and just the basics. If the suit fits you properly, which is one of the most important aspects we have to look for. Generally speaking, the rule is when walking into the room, when standing to make the first impression in a meeting or a presentation, have the jacket buttoned because it gives you the best line, and then always feel free once you sit down, start moving, or start pointing at a presentation to open up the jacket, okay? But this just presents the best possible line. What we want, and I've done a few drawings. Okay, of course, I've done the best I can with my hand drawing. This shows sort of the proportions of a classic suit that we're trying for a nice triangular line from the shoulders coming into a narrower waist. Now, it depends on your body build. I myself have a little bit of I got to be careful. Once I go a couple months training a little less, eating a little more, I do have a bit of a 48-year-old gut going on in this area. I get wider in the middle and what some people call a dad bod. That's me. But look what happens when I open up the jacket. The shape I have is just wider here in the middle automatically. Okay. Now, if you are have a thinner build or you're heavier set and wider in the middle, of course, you may not get this ideal Hollywood actor V shape, but neither do I, and a well-cut suit will, for skinny or thinly built men or heavy men who are wide in the middle, still create the best possible line, okay? If you're tall and thin, you're laughing because you have the best options. I happen to be short with proportionately short legs. All right, so the parts I'm wearing a suit jacket, I'm wearing a vest, I'm wearing a tie, a shirt, pants, dress shoes, belt, and watch. Just quick description. This is an introductory talk for guys who are new to suits. Basically speaking, this is called the three-piece suit if you wear the vest together with everything else, okay? You can wear the suit without the vest. If I take the vest off, the suit will look like this, okay? That's what it would look like. I just tucked it under the jacket, as you can see, but that's what the suit would look like. I buttoned it up. That's what it would look like, okay? It's just one step more formal or more stylish to wear it with the vest, okay? One rule about the vest is, now coming from Great Britain, I hear British style advisors say to leave the bottom button of the vest open. Now this has hundreds of years of tradition, and it went back to one of the British kings, one of the kings of England who began this trend, and it's been known in some regions of Europe ever since, to the point, let me show you this detail. Some designers actually symbolize this by making the bottom buttonhole of the vest in a different color, just to symbolize this tradition. So you see on this vest, which has 5 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only the bottom one is colored and has this red color. It's just to symbolize that the makers know this is the special button to leave open or unbuttoned. But that's not universal. When you look worldwide, Not all suit wearers in all regions leave it open, okay? It's a matter of taste. I, myself, as a shorter guy with shorter legs, I've discovered, although I've gone the last couple of years leaving it unbuttoned, I've recently discovered, even skinny guys get this. Once you move, the shirt starts to pop out and you get this little triangle of color right there. If you're a short guy like myself with short legs and a little bit of a gut happening here, this makes you look like you have more of a gut. So that's why I've decided if I'm wearing a dark suit with a dark vest and a lighter shirt, I'm just going to go with the other school of thought, the other trend, and button that last one, and look, you see, that little triangle's disappeared there. Okay, generally speaking, I'll talk about the fit of the jacket. The cut of the sleeves is supposed to leave about a finger width or a centimeter of the shirt visible. So if you look here, you see that about a centimeter of blue happening here. I'll put both arms down and you can see, okay? Now I'm cheating here. This is the way I wear the shirt. This shirt, which is from a brand Europeans will recognize as a nicer shirt. Has two buttons here. What happens here is if you do the tighter button, I find it chokes up on my arm, and then you don't see as much blue. So it's only my personal taste. When I have the choice, I go with the wider one, and then you just get a nicer band of blue here, okay? So generally 1 or 2 centimeters, they say, when your arm is hanging low, because once your arm is moving and you say hello to people, hi, nice to meet you, people will see this happening. If you see no shirt, they say your jacket's not cut at the right length. Now, one little cheat, on the other arm, I've left both buttons open, which nobody can tell. When I put my arms down, you can't really tell until I mention it. Sometimes I will button it, but sometimes depending on how narrow the jacket sleeve is and the shirt. In this jacket and shirt, it works because it gives me a nice cuff, because I tend to wear massive watches, okay? Now, I know for a fact this watch has just the right look that people will believe it fits a higher end suit because it looks expensive, and people have actually asked me what type of watch I wear. This, my friends, is from the company Fossil, or in Europe, Fossil. It's a Fossil watch. It's not madly expensive, it's just mid-range, but I'm just careful about the style that I choose. I've chosen a watch which is not casual. You know, I've got a leather band, more casual looking one for jeans or a t-shirt. I've chosen specifically a watch that looks more dressy for a suit look. I can button it up, but then it covers my watch. So if I want my watch to be visible, then I'll leave this open, but I'll just close it so you can see that it works as well. There we go. And then it just covers a watch, but then that also is possible. The shoulders, very important. It used to be, because I grew up in the 80s, back in the 80s up to the early 90s, we had these wide shoulders that came out past your physical shoulder. It used to be when guys would lean up against the wall, the shoulder would sink in, and suddenly they had one shoulder out here wider than the other. Today, with a classic basic look, the rule is where that corner is, where your shoulder ends and your arm begins here, I should be able to lean up against the wall, and that's where the jacket is. Can you see that? I'm hoping you can see that. See that? No deformation. So I'm gonna just show you. If it's hanging off your shoulder like that, not a good fit. That's not what we want. Can you see that? If it's up here, past your shoulder, so you see a rounding going out past the corner, also not good. That's not what we want. It's supposed to fit the shoulder, okay? All right, because I've got more light happening on this shoulder, I'll show it one more time. If I were to lean up against the wall, I should have no deformation on this shoulder, okay? I'm just gonna have it hang off my shoulder. That's not what we want. So if I lean up against the wall and deformation happens, it sinks in, not good. And I'll just pull it all the way up here. So if the corner's up here and you still have shoulder popping out past the corner, also not good. That's not what we want. Okay, next, here's probably what the fashion experts say for men's suits is the most important factor, that it fits here. It fits here. If it's too baggy and you're pulling out cloth or it's like a hanging square, it needs to be tailored. It needs to be taken in by a good tailor who knows how to use pins and find your body line so that not a lot of movement. You see, it's buttoned up, it's closed, but as I do this, it's just loose enough. I can put my arms forward to point at stuff. I can shake hands and say hi to people. Nice to meet you. I can do this, which usually you want to open the buttons for, okay? Not too tight, okay? It's not a body hugger. Once it's a body hugger, you can literally only pose and you can't raise your arm to move, okay? So just enough breathing space that I can, how much, like a hand fits in there, and it's a little bit of looseness, okay? But it should fit your body front and back. If it's too loose, it's a baggy square on the sides. You've got all kinds of cloth hanging in the back like this. Okay, if it's too tight, then you get all kinds of strain lines that look like this when you do up the button, like that. Okay, also not good. So this fit has to fit. Top button, if it's a 2-button suit, okay? The basic rule, and this appears to be universal, I hear this everywhere, is on a men's suit jacket, leave the bottom button open at all times. We don't use that button, okay? Now, I'll just show you why I understand that is. The jackets are actually cut that way. Look what happens if I do this button up. It just looks weird. The silhouette here looks weird. So Google this yourselves. Everywhere I've looked in my research on men's suits, it doesn't matter how many buttons your jacket has. Leave the bottom one open. If it's a 3-button jacket, only use the top 2 and leave this one open, okay? Good. Once you start moving, using your arms presenting, we open. When you sit down as well, this is why you'll notice politicians or well-dressed gentlemen in important meeting situations, they'll be sitting like this. The moment they stand up to say something, they'll button it, they'll say what they have to say, they'll open it, they'll sit down. If they're asked to present, say something in front of a group, they'll button it up just to thank everyone for being here, introduce themselves, open it up, start speaking. End of the presentation, they'll quite often do this as they walk off center stage, front of the room, okay? The length, this changes over time. That's to where my hand goes, the length of the jacket. The current length is a little bit shorter, so pardon me for doing this, but the rounded part of my behind or my butt comes down to here. But remember, I'm a short Asian guy with short legs, and the jacket, which is fairly new, I just bought it a month ago, ends over that, okay? It used to be a few centimeters lower than that, but the current look is now higher, all right? I'm gonna take off, oh yeah, and the last accessory, which has always been in, has been more or less in, depending on the era, are the pocket squares. This is called a presidential. It's the most basic fold, is just to fold it up and have a straight line visible. This is so in that sometimes you buy jackets that have this sewn in permanently. It's just a piece of cloth in another color. Or they have a reversible pocket inside. You pinch with your fingers, pull it out, and you get this little inside out pocket. So you just get a colorful, silky cloud sticking out, okay? Presidential is just a straight fold. They say generally about 1 centimeter, okay, not too much more, which is about little less than ½ an inch, okay, or a finger's width. Good. So if you'll pardon me, I'm now going to take off the jacket and explain the other parts. Okay. Okay, I'll demonstrate this again in just a moment. There is a specific way to fold the jacket. That's it. I'll show it once again with the gray suit that I brought as a model. My personal preference, but again, just wait a few years. It'll probably go out of style. Maybe they won't make them anymore, but I like these colored accents on the insides of the cuffs. Just because as a magician, once I bring it higher up on the arm, it creates a nice band of color. Just my personal preference. Okay. I'm going to take off the vest as well so you can see what's under the vest, which of course is the shirt. Okay. Here you have, oh, well, I guess you guys will get to see this twice as well. Okay, there's a specific way to fold the vest. Half of it goes inside out. That's it. Okay. All right, the length of the tie. Just a quick comment here on the length of the tie. Generally speaking, it's a matter of taste, but some men wear the tie at a length so the tip here is touching the belt. Others say it should be the corners of this triangle here, which comes down to the belt line. Okay, I think it depends on your height. You know, it's a matter of personal taste. Now, what I'm about to say in the video, I forgot to say that most of the time when I'm wearing a suit, I have a vest on. So I go a little bit shorter. I go 1 or 2 fingers up from the belt just to hide the tip of the tie from sticking out under the vest when I move. I notice if I bring it down to these corners, that you might sometimes see the tip of the tie coming out from under the vest. So what I'm about to say, this applies to the way I wear the ties normally with a vest. But generally speaking, they say somewhere between this corner or the tip should be at the belt line. So like this to here, somewhere in that range. Okay, and just one other note, you're going to notice because it's a very hot day, I got sweaty and this blue shirt started to show the sweat through. I will generally wear an undershirt under this, under any dress shirt on a hot day to hide the sweat, a t-shirt that goes under the shirt. This time on this trip, because I didn't bring any white ones, just out of habit, I skipped the undershirt, which was a mistake. I do have some with me, they're black, and I just noticed with a blue shirt, it would have made no difference. I'm just so used to wearing white shirts, white t-shirts as undershirts under a dress shirts only. Because if the shirt is white or a light color, you can really only wear white, yeah? But this blue one, the black t-shirt would not have shown through, so I should have worn the black undershirt. Too late now. You'll see the rest of the video. I had to suffer because of the heat. It was a very sweaty day, and I wanted to talk about the jacket and vest. So just so you know. All right. So keep in mind the tie length, and wear an undershirt when it's hot. All right, let's talk about the tie. Again, excuse the little bit of sweatiness. I had the vest and the jacket on. It's a rather hot day, and in this weather, I probably would have had just the shirt and even taken off the tie to open the top. But I just want to show you what the tie looks like. Generally speaking, this is the way I wear it. So I've got 1, maximum 2 fingers width from the tip of the tie, that corner right there, to the belt. So today you see I've got 2 fingers, usually it's 1 or 2 fingers, or if I lean it forward, touching the belt, somewhere in that range. So tip touching the belt, 1 finger, or the way I've tied it today, 2 fingers, because as you're moving, it basically looks like it's at around your belt line. Okay. A little less formal, of course, is to take off the tie, which I'm going to do now so I can start to cool down. It's a warm day, but this is a fairly nice shirt, and the visible sweat will go in just a second. All right, I'm going to show this one more time later, but here's how you fold a tie. You fold it in half once, again, use the loops, and then it's self-contained. just like that. Okay, we're good. All right, now the fit of the shirt. Okay, you have to do some searching. With all suit pieces, suit jacket, suit shirt, suit pants, even the vest, the best route you can take if you have the money for it, because it costs a little more, is tailor-made. You go to a tailor, get it made to measure, and they will make the suit to fit your body perfectly. That's the best option. So if you are off the rack, which is walking into a men's suit store and taking what is already pre-made and available, is usually made for the range which is within the average for most men's builds. Okay, if you're taller, thinner, wider, heavier set than average, then you'll have to get it tailored. If you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and you have a bodybuilder's physique, which most normal men don't have, they do not make suits in your size that you can just try on. You have to have it tailor-made for you, made to measure. Okay, specifically in my case, I can buy made to store-bought or off-the-rack shirts and suits, but because of my Asian build, on average, most Asian guys, on average, it's not always the case, just like on average, most horses are taller than most cats. Some cats are huge, some horses are short, but on average, most horses are taller than most cats. On average, a lot of Asian guys have shorter arms and legs relative to their complete body height in comparison to black or white guys from other genetic parts of the planet. I'm like that too. So if I buy my shirt size, which in a North American inch system is a 15 3/4 inch shirt, or within the European size system, a size 40, once I put the cuffs up, it fits me perfectly because I have these standard made shirts are a little bit long for my arms. Once I do up the button, you don't really notice it that bad, so I leave it alone. But there is some extra cloth hanging here, which doesn't need to be, but that's one way I get around it, okay? What's important is the fit here. If it's too wide, it looks like you're wearing a baggy t-shirt. You don't want cloth out here, okay? I'm lucky enough that once I find the slim fit for certain specific brands that fit me, I can live with this. The collar has to fit for me, a size 40 European or an American 15 3/4 inch. And then you see it fits. So this happens to be a shirt that fits me very well. It's almost dry because it's a very nice material. Now there are ways to get this looking neater. There's the military fold. Some guys will take all of the extra cloth. How can I show you? Just imagine, yeah. There's not a lot, but if I pull it out, imagine taking this extra cloth, folding it back around your thumb this way and tucking it in at the sides. This will tighten it even more. But if I let go, this is basically the perfect fit of shirt for me. Okay? One note about the pants. I'm lucky enough that generally speaking, I can walk into a German or European store and buy a European size 48. I believe this one is, no, I've gained a bit of weight. Sorry. 10 years ago it was 48. 50, a size 50 European men's suit. The jacket will fit me, the pants will fit me, but because of the short arms and legs, as a short guy, I have to have the jacket brought up, usually 4 or 5 centimeters, and the pant legs brought up about 10 centimeters, okay? So if I know the brand or the company of the suit, I can walk into a European store and I'm 95% sure, take it off the rack. Is it a size 50? Great. Hand it to a tailor and say, take the sleeves up 4 centimeters and the pant legs up 10 centimeters. I'd be able to put it on and it fits me fine. Okay. Now, just a note about where the waist is. Okay, this has changed over time. Okay, just like the skinny fit, which hugs your legs, or the wider baggy fit changes over time. In some eras of men's suits, this is higher. So I'm going to exaggerate and bring it up here. All right, now I'm just going to talk about the waist, the top of the pants where you wear the belt. Where this is changes over time, okay? In some eras, it's a lower waist down here, and sometimes it's a higher waist. I'm going to exaggerate, and it comes up higher on your body, okay? When I was a kid in the 80s, they were higher, for example. Going back a generation, you can see it in old black and white films in the 1940s and 50s. Apparently, they also had a higher waist that came up even higher, like up. Here's my belly button, which is where these pants land on me. They used to wear the pants up here. So I remember in the 80s and 90s, as a teenager in school and as a young guy in my 20s, we used to laugh at the older men in their 60s and 70s because they wore their pants up here. We used to say, why do these old guys always wear the pants up to their chest like this? Well, a bit of research shows, one, some of those gentlemen in those days, in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, didn't wear a belt. They wore suspenders, in British English called braces, okay, which held their pants physically up higher, more than a belt, okay? Second of all, they were cut with a higher waist. It meant from the crotch, this part, where the two legs come together, to the waist, physically, they were cut higher and they got used to it. And by the time they were in their 60s or 70s, they always preferred to feel the pants coming up to here. All right. Currently, at this time in 2021, lower waist has become popular. Now, if you're tall and have a long body build, that's fine. If you're a shorter guy like me, short, I'm 176 centimeters tall, 5'9", which is only average by, I guess, modern standards. But for my generation, being full-blooded Asian, I'm a tall guy and kind of broad and muscular. I guess I'm the Dwayne Johnson of my generation. But with my body build, this has a problem. It makes me look even shorter, because the amount of blue you see relative to the amount of legs you see, it makes my legs look shorter, and it's not a good look. Just so you know, in this particular suit, I did not buy the size 50 jacket, which had the sleeves taken up 4 centimeters. I bought the size 50 jacket, but these are not the size 50 matching pants. These are the tall pants. I believe I took the size 102, okay? Because the men's suit pants come in 3 basic cuts: short, regular, and tall. Short, this distance is shorter. It's cut for short guys. Regular, I tried on the 50, it fit me, but this was down here. It made it look, first of all, like I have more of a gut coming out, and it made it look like my legs were even shorter. Then, because I've done this before in the past, I tried on the tall man pants, which is a European size 98 or 102, and it fits here. I can take off the belt and it fits my body just fine, but the waist is about 3 fingers, about 4 centimeters or more than an inch higher. So that's where it fits. And because of this new trend, this is the way I used to wear suit pants 10 or 15 years ago. So it fits, okay? Now, just a quick review, looking at my drawings, we've got the collar, which changes size over time. The tie, I'll show you a couple ties, talk about it. The lapel, that's this part of the jacket. Your pocket square, that of course is the jacket. The vest, which in British English is called waistcoat. The pants, which the British call trousers. And how have the suits changed over time? Just a couple of examples, just for fun. In the 70s, they used to have a wider collar, a wider tie, a wider lapel on the jacket. The jacket was a narrow fit, but they used to wear wider belts, and the pants were narrow at the top and wider at the bottom. Okay, that was the typical 70s silhouette. They wore crazy colors. They used to be brown, beige, orange, neon green,
Purple.
yeah, light blue, or what was really in the late 70s because of John Travolta's Saturday Night Fever, white. Okay. My era, which I remember the 80s, we had the higher waist, okay, the narrow collar, medium tie, medium lapel, but wide fitting jacket. Okay, a lot of guys I remember used to just buy the suit jacket 1 or 2 sizes too big for them, going beyond the classic look, so it didn't look like it fit them, just for this wide baggy look. So if their shoulders ended here where my finger was, you just had more jacket. They just wanted to look massive and look wider and heavier. So widening fit jacket for a baggy look, wide shoulders, high waist. They also had the longer jacket length. Okay, so where the jackets come now to where my fingers are, they used to come down here. You couldn't grab them. They came down to the bottom of the hand. Probably had to do with the fact that a lot of the guys were wearing the jacket 2 sizes too big. Okay, and the pants were wide and baggy. Okay, what I mean by that is, with this modern pair of pants I just got last month, if I put my hand in my pocket, not a lot of cloth. You see? Not a lot of, I can't pull a lot of cloth past my leg. It used to be in the 80s, you could put your hand in the pocket and bring your hand out here and then fit 2 legs in the one pant leg, okay? Sort of like jogging pants. We just had a lot of cloth, all right? In those days, we used to wear the suit wearers, I remember, used to wear longer pants for a loose and baggy look. It was hanging over the shoes. So if you look at my shoes now, you can see the shoes. Okay. It used to be the pants would hang to here, so you would just see like the front half of the shoes. You see what I mean? Okay, good. And in the back of the foot, you know, the pants used to hang almost to the floor. You could not see guys' socks. Okay. Nowadays, once we're sitting or moving, you can see socks. The modern suit. Okay, just a reminder to show you how the shape and proportions of suits change over time. We wear narrow collars, narrow lapel on the suit, colorful pocket square, you want it to pop and stand out, a narrow tie. My pocket square there was like a silver gray, just for a more business banker look. A narrow fit, this is the profile. We want a narrow, slender overall look. Okay, narrow, tailored, slender, slim fit look is in, depending on your body type. Lower waist, as I mentioned before, and narrow pants, okay? Narrow at the bottom, shorter length with no extra cloth, hanging over the shoes, so both the shoes and socks are visible once you're moving around and sitting. That's the modern suit. All right, I'm now going to show you guys, to wrap this up, the parts of the suit. Okay, when you're not wearing it, this is how I fold the vest. Okay, this is one example vest in gray. I'm looking at the inside of the vest, so reading the label. I put my hands through. Stand on that side, please. Mm-hmm. The hands come together, and then we turn it inside out. Inside out, so that's the inside of the vest. And then we fold that, okay? The shirt, just a quick example. This is how I fold a shirt, the same way they tend to do it in most men's stores. Okay, for packing in your suitcase, it looks like this. It's a nice compact square. How do I achieve that? That's the fold, okay? It means from the front, you have to do the top button. You have to do most of the buttons. Sometimes you can skip some in between. And you have to do the bottom button, okay? So now the shirt fold, we lay it on the front. I follow this line going up the shirt, fold it diagonally in both arms to make like an X. So there's the folding line coming here. And then about a hand's width, just to make it a smaller square. You can actually see the fold line. You can see the line where I've already folded it last time, going here. There you go. And then I fold it in thirds. There's one. There's two. And that shirt is travel ready. Okay, the suit jacket. I'll show you the fold again. There's a very nice example of a silk pocket square with some color to it. It's got pink and baby blue. Same as the vest. I look at the suit jacket, looking at the inside. Put the fingertips together and turn one of them inside out. So you're now looking at the inside of the jacket. And then fold it in half. Done. Okay? The suit pants, or in British trousers, it's very important you find the fold line. Okay? You don't want to fold the pants this way. That's not good. It's going to come out looking like a mess. There's the fold line. Okay? It might be easier sometimes if it's still sharper at the bottom to use this hand. Find the fold line here at the bottom. Turn it upside down. There's the fold line. Okay? And then you can either fold it in half or thirds. There, fold it in half again and again, and then we've got a small square, or the way I usually do it is just thirds. So there's the first fold here, second one here, and we're done. Okay, great. Now, if you're traveling with a suit, it's important to take your own hanger. Why? Choose a hanger. This has felt on it so that your pants are not going to slide around on it. If it's just plastic or wood and you hang your pants on it and you carry it from one room to the other or put it in a car or you take it somewhere, it's just going to roll off. Okay? This stays. Okay? That's like a fuzzy teddy bear felt textured cloth. It's not just smooth, slidey plastic or wood. See what I mean? I can tug on it and the pants do not move. Also leave more length on this side because that's cut wider and the weight is about halfway point. Okay? Good. Along with these, carry with you a suit bag to travel with your suit. Very important. Okay, force of habit. I'm just going to fold this again. I know it's a long talk, gentlemen, but if you're actually interested, this is stuff I wish somebody had taught me when I was 25. And if I can help you out with my experience with suits, this is a suit bag. Once you've got your pants here, and then your vest, put the vest on first, and then the shirt outside of that, and always a suit jacket on the outermost outside. You want to keep it covered so people are not spilling ketchup or coffee or beer or anything on your suit. You'd be surprised. It does happen all the time. Okay, this is how you zip it up so it's all closed. Zipper's right there. Okay, folds in half, and then that's carryable to a car, into your event, and then you're good to go. Very important, suit bag, travel with one. All right, just some details about the belt. People do notice your shoes, your watch, and your belt. So try to get a belt, buckle that looks nice, and a belt that, I don't know, in terms of style and massiveness, weight, that fits your suit and is not overpowering or hanging because it's too heavy. A suit belt should be narrower, thinner, and finer looking than a casual or jeans belt. Okay, so that's about as thick and heavy as I would go for a suit belt. Okay, you want it to match your shoes. If you're wearing black shoes, black belt. Brown shoes, brown belt. Okay, one last word about ties, and then I'll wrap this up because I know it's a long talk, gentlemen. The tie, it depends on what look you're going for. Okay, generally speaking, the wider tie will look more classic or old-fashioned or business-like, older or more serious. Same with darker. So that looks like a businessman or a presenter giving a talk in front of a business people crowd. This is a more serious tie. It's wide, it's heavy, it's dark blue. Okay. Narrower is a little more modern, younger looking, and fun. That's nearly the same tie. It's a Hugo Boss in a bright blue. Okay, just that bright splash of color lightens it up, makes it more fun, more stylish, more casual. This would be sort of a mid-range, more universal friendly tie. Okay, it's just got sort of a square pattern in brown and dark blue. Okay, and then you get into more fun ties. Okay, this would be, I would wear this with a pink shirt. That would look really nice. It's got the paisley design in pink. If I hold it together, you'll see what I mean. There we go. Nice look. If you want to go even a little more fun and stand out, more color, there's purple and pink paisley design. Goes nicely with a pink shirt. And just be a little careful. You can't have too many design elements together. If it's a plain shirt, you can choose what kind of a tie. It can be a plain tie. It can be a loud tie. Okay. If you have, for example, the suit that is checkered, you do not want a checkered tie or a checkered shirt. Okay. Then it has to be a different design element. With a checkered suit, you need stripes or a paisley design. And that's about it. So I hope those were some useful tips. That's just what first comes to mind if I imagine what would a new suit wearer ask me. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this introduction to suits useful. In order for me to cover how to mix and match ties, shirts, vests, and suits, I think that's a topic for another day. You have to look at the style, color, fabric, design. That's probably in itself a longer talk. If you're interested, please let me know. Write something in the comments below to let me know if you're interested in hearing me talk more about suits. And one last piece of advice, just take a look at world leaders, politicians, watch videos of them, see how their suits are cut, or any favorite actors you have in movies or series who you think look great in a suit. And one of the best things you can do is find someone with your body build to see what they look like in a well tailored suit. Now, I'm not as tall as these two gentlemen, but two actors I think of would be Lucifer Morningstar from the series Lucifer. I thought in the early series he looked great in a suit when he was thinner, and then he put on some muscle mass, started working out, and then I thought he looked even more awesome. Or the character of Harvey Specter from the series Suits. I just love a lot of the shirt, tie, vest, and suit combinations he wore. I found he always looked very stylish, very classy. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching to the end, and own your style.